Bleach sucks.
Whoa, I like where you're going, bro.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
I'm too far from my gun.
Hey, yo, this is for all the niggas who love Usopp. I'm spinning the block for y'all right now. So, quite frankly, it's because Ichigo, in my opinion, is probably one of the worst protagonists ever. A lot of people try to draw parallels between Itadori and Ichigo, but Itadori is someone who literally had to eat it to win and literally had to eat shit in order to get stronger. And at a certain point, Ichigo, he's just the cousin of everybody strong. And at a certain point, like through fights, like they realize, oh yeah, you didn't know, your brother on your mama's side, third cousin from your daddy, he was a hollow. And his daddy before him, he was a hollow too. And then
it's over 9,000!
All right, y'all. You know the vibes. It is Keeping It 9,000. Otaku with my bro taku. Yeah. Shonen with my bronin. And on this episode, we have the biggest podcast we've ever had. Literally, the most guests we've ever had on a show. Facts. We got them boys over here. They are dropping singles left and right. If you haven't heard the latest single yet, it has just recently dropped. Boys, what is it called? Whitey. Yo, the boys are out here. They are making crazy content. They just got up to the millies off of a viral video that they just posted really recently.
Talk about it.
Let's call it like a week or two ago, and it's doing big numbers.
God damn.
Bruh, they're on the pod today. It is If the Shoe Fits.
Yes,
Welcome
sir.
to the pod.
Hey, guys.
Yes, sir.
What up?
Yes, sir. We got Catharsis.
Yeah.
We got Grant Sounds. We got Candid. And then at the end over there, we got Rob Dawkins.
What's
How y'all
up,
feeling
guys?
to be on the pod, fam?
Shit, feeling
We
good.
feel good, man.
How y'all feeling today?
Let's get it.
Let's go.
All right, so the way this pod works is we're just going to get into a couple of things. We're going to talk about a couple of topics. The conversation can go wherever we want it to go just because, you know, it's our podcast and you guys are our guests. So
Hell yeah.
welcoming you out to our hood, and we're going to like make this thing happen. So first thing we got for you is a couple of anime-based questions. Question one that we want to kick it off with, based off of your opinions, guys. Yeah. Or actually, not based off of your opinions, based off of what you've seen. Could you explain the love for Usopp to us? Because I know some of y'all watch One Piece. I just started it, and I cannot stand the guy. And I recently made a video, and people came from my neck after making this video. So I want y'all to break it down to me. Huh? Self-hate?
That's self-hate, my boy.
Yeah,
I don't know
from
what
what
to tell
I
you.
understand, Usopp is up there with black characters like Piccolo, where we just don't talk about what they've done, but they just got respect in the streets. People call him God King Usopp. I have no idea why, but they say he's a shooter for real. So, you know, he shoot.
I would say that people like Usopp, even if you take the diaspora element out of it for his character arc, because he started as a complete coward. But even though he was a coward in like a majority of the arcs, there's always a moment where he's like, damn, I gotta be a better person. I can't let my friends down. And then he always does a 180 and like, you know, he does the thing anyway, even though he's scared.
Yeah.
And then, you know, post time skip.
Okay.
Bro gets some muscle mass on him. You know? he levels up. He gets better at shooting. He is less. I mean, he's still scared, but like less so than he is before. And I think a lot of people they see themselves in that. Not everybody's gonna be like Luffy or Zoro or Sanji, where regardless of what happens, they're gonna be, you know, staunchly 10 toes down.
Somebody got to be boxed.
Exactly. Sometimes you're just scared, but you do the thing anyway. And I think that's why other people like Usopp a lot.
Gotcha. No, that makes sense. Would you say that after the time skip, Usopp becomes a more likable character?
Yeah, it's
No
kind of like a
comment.
mom's thing. Yeah, it's straight up. You know, people never talk about what Piccolo did. He definitely shot Goku through the chest. But at a certain point, it's like, hey, bruh, he's a good dad. Like, they talk about the merit points. That's it. For Usopp, they're like, yeah, he can shoot. I don't know what he shot, when he shot, who he shot, but he's a shooter. That's all we know.
Okay.
He got a body somewhere in the world.
Yeah, somewhere.
Okay, yeah. So wait, like, who is your number one character from One Piece though? Even if you've never seen it, who do you think you like?
Luffy.
Luffy, okay.
Shout out Luffy. I'm an eater as well.
Oh, God.
Yes, sir.
Shout out all the eaters out there.
Facts.
Representation, my boy.
And also, I just like the whole concept of like, yeah, you're not gonna hold me. Like, shout out my boys. Like, we gonna get free, you know. And it's not even like a type freedom. Like he's like MLK or Malcolm X. Like he's straight up like, this don't make sense. And half the time he falls into like the victory. It's really just like, hey, bro, this don't feel right. And he just makes moves off of it. So shout out him.
Nah, that's big. Like, that's one of the things I respect most about Luffy. I remember in an episode watching, somebody was like, yo, why do you want to be Pirate King? And he was like, I literally just want to do whatever the fuck I want when I want to do it.
After that.
And like, respect to that, fam. Going off of that question a little bit, we're gonna switch gears, get off of One Piece for
No
just
pun
a
intended.
second.
That's what you call bars. Bars.
Yeah. So we're all '90s babies, right?
Yes, we are.
So we all remember what the Saturday morning cartoon / anime block is. Of
course, yeah.
I want y'all to break it down, what it was for y'all and what it was for anime culture from the past and how it developed into the future.
Go ahead, Bobby.
Damn. What was for me? I remember it was Yu-Gi-Oh. Remember Sonic X. Remember
Gotta go fast.
there was there was a Gundam like 3D show. There was
With the chibis, yeah.
Gundam Seed?
something like that. Yeah.
There's so many.
I'm blanking on a few, but it was those main three for me. And then I'm not quite sure how it evolved. I don't know what happened after that. Y'all want to help me out?
You talking about like what it meant for us?
Yeah,
you
just
know,
what it
like-
meant for y'all, yeah.
For me, I think it was like trying to. It made me be open to whatever they had. You know what I mean? Because back in the day, like I had cable, so it's like if I want to wake up.
Damn,
and
way to
watch
brag,
cartoons-
fam.
You know, listen. So it's like you wake up on Saturday morning. It's like, bro, whatever they serving that morning, like that's what you're watching. And if they changed up your block and the programming, and you didn't know about it, it's just like that. You know what I'm saying? So it taught me to be
Winx
open.
Club.
Yo, bro, sometimes you wake up too early and you're watching Winx Club and you're like, I'm not mad at Winx Club. You know what I'm saying? So it taught me to be open because, you know, I think, let's see, Shaolin Showdown was one that, like, in the beginning, I was like, I didn't like it in the beginning. And when I saw the preview, I was like, this does not look fire. But it was, and it is, you know what I mean? And I think watching stuff like Cubics prepared me for, like, Chainsaw Man's new art style, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So it really just taught me to just be open to whatever it is because there are lots of different people telling amazing stories through animation. And if you're just patient with it and you just sit down, see what they're selling, you'll definitely like what they're offering.
That's true. You know, honestly, shout out to that one person who did curate all that. We don't know who it is. This
Facts.
man's goes unnamed.
But they knew.
They knew.
They knew. They were like,
Thank you.
yes, sir.
Thank you.
Nameless hero. We think.
That's a fact. What else we got for the boys, Jay?
Yes, sir. All right. So next up, y'all, I'm gonna need y'all to rank your favorite cons.
What?
We love all cons equally.
There you go.
And if there are any cons, all of which we love equally, of course,
Type shit.
who want us to come through and perform and do any programming for you for money and or clout, we would be willing to do that and rank you as number one during this segment.
Even the chopped cheese, we'll do it. We'll do it. As long as you got like PA speakers, two PA speakers, 4 microphones, and 4 chopped cheeses, maybe like a deck of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, we can go crazy.
So
That's
wait,
the writer?
That's all.
Yeah,
That's our rider.
That's the rider right there. So what cons have you guys been to though?
It's been a good number.
So we started at the inaugural year of Brooklyn Comic Con. Shout out them. Yeah. So we performed there. We've also performed at BlurredCon as well. Shout out BlurredCon. Yeah. We performed at Enitomo recently. That's a newer con.
Shout out to Enitomo.
Yeah,
Shout out Ash.
Enitomo. Facts. And then
We've attended Anime NYC.
we attended Anime NYC,
And
you know,
Comic-Con.
and Comic-Con, you know, just
And Thy Geekdom.
and Thy Geekdom Con.
Like
Yes.
a greater Philadelphia area.
Yes,
That's a new one to me.
yes.
And
So,
Grant just came back from DreamCon.
yeah, just came back from
Yeah.
DreamCon.
That's
That was a
Shout
vibe.
out DreamCon for sure.
That's like a con that's like a very black con, but nobody says it's a black con. Or like the DreamCon's a black con, like it's a black con.
Let's get it. Now, you got to share some of your favorite DreamCon moments.
All right, so boom.
he's
Favorite
ready.
thing was wearing the inflatable suit. I actually thought of this cosplay like right before I got to DreamCon, but Pikmin 4 came out a little bit before DreamCon, and I was playing it, and I was like, man, I really want to do a Pikmin cosplay. And I was like, oh shit, if I just do a Zentai suit, I could be a Pikmin if I just buy a leaf. But I was like, you know, since I'm a little larger, I didn't want to do like a yellow Pikmin or a red Pikmin because y'all be seeing my sides. So I said, let me do the inflatable suit, and it actually worked out because it has a fan, and I was like, bro, that's AC internally. So here I am, white
genius.
beater and draws, feeling good the whole time of the con. But here's the thing. I was actually scared to do it. Shout out Renegon Cosplay. My good sis, she was part of the squad with me, and she actually like helped me with some of the stuff to like get it set up. So she actually pushed me to do it because I wasn't sure because, you know, I could have, people were going to think I was Grimace, people was going to think I was a grape, and literally at the con, someone said, yo, Grimace? And I said, man, it's Big Perk. What you talking about? If you see that nigga Olimar, let me know I'm looking for him. And I kept in that character the whole time.
There you go.
I actually have a mockumentary. I just dropped it. I just dropped it like just now while we came here. You can find it on YouTube where like, you know, where I was a Pikmin at DreamCon. That was a vibe. And then what's another thing? Also, the parties, LAN party always goes crazy. Shout out New York, all the way down in Texas. New York, you know what I'm saying? What you talking about? But 2 back-to-back amazing parties. They had the Grown and Sexy party on Friday. And then on Saturday, it was just a regular general party. But both of them were crazy, crazy fire. Like, he had 2 floors. Upper level was like a rooftop party. He was playing like soca music. Shout out DJ Tim Trilla, because he played a Bashment song. And then I turned the camera, just getting the story. 2 people lifted up the table and was jumping around in the room. Like, wild. Yeah, wild. Listen, DreamCon was amazing. And then lastly, you know, I got to see all my friends from online. You know what I'm saying?
Beautiful.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was amazing.
That's dope. Yo, speaking of DreamCon, and you brought this up a little bit, cosplay. So you got to break down for us your cosplay journey, because we've seen you like on the gram and you're always in something. Break it down for us. Where do you get your cosplay from? What made you start cosplaying? And like, where do you think cosplaying is going in the future?
It really started on stream.
Yeah.
I kind of like got into cosplay through my homies. Like, we were all part of like the Clubhouse era, and we really just tapped in like with like a large like group of cosplayers at that time. But all of us were musicians, and then throughout the period, like I slowly was seeing like people go off on this, people go off on that, and some people like literally built their careers during the pandemic. And just seeing that, I always kind of wanted to jump in. But during my streaming career, when I started there, I actually did a giveaway with Soft Giving, and it was basically like a donation campaign. And since I was trying to get money and I was playing Animal Crossing at the time, I was like, hey, fuck it, might as well do an Animal Crossing cosplay. So I did Tom Nook, and like Grant Nook became a thing. So then I wore it at a party. I got a video at the party, and then that video went viral on Twitter. And from there, I was like, I guess I'm a cosplayer. I only did one cosplay, but then I brought both of those down to DreamCon, and now I could say now, like, you know, moving forward. So I don't have anything planned yet, but, you know, I think the first thing I'm thinking is I want to do something with the squad, you know, do a nice group cosplay, you know. But actually, I'm wrong. If we want to say first, because thinking about it, first cosplay was Anime NYC. We did the Akatsuki clones.
I remember that.
Yes, indeed. My memory's bad, yo. So don't take my memory for fact, you know, in any way.
It's like that.
It'd be like that.
What group cosplay would y'all do though? Like each one of y'all, what would be your top group cosplay?
I mean, I think for us, like, we sort of approach it like anywhere we go, we got to be looked at as a squad.
As a
you know
unit,
what I mean?
yeah.
So that was why we gravitated to the Akatsuki cloaks early. Also, we did it before it was played out or whatever.
Yeah, we did it
That's an important consideration, you know what I mean? But like, what was it? There was another one that we were talking about. We was talking about potentially being like the Black Bulls, you know what I'm saying?
That'd be sick.
I haven't seen Bleach, but like the fits are fire. I would love.
Can we talk non-anime?
Yeah,
I want to do Teletubbies for real.
We talked about the Ninja Turtles too.
And the Ninja Turtles.
Oh, wait, which Ninja Turtle would you be though? Like, who's who?
That's a great question.
You know,
The purple one.
Yeah, I'll probably do the orange one. That probably match my vibe.
Okay.
You know, he just eat pizza and be brainless, you know?
Yeah.
Top eater.
You know what I'm saying? Be like that.
It's all shells to me, baby.
Hey, a shell is a shell.
Shell is a shell, baby.
That's real.
Facts.
Wow.
Yeah. So y'all are rappers. You're part of the rap group If the Shoe Fits. You make up the full rap group If the Shoe Fits.
Yeah,
that is so fire. Yo, y'all got a bunch of singles out there. You got Almighty Zeus.
Yep.
Y'all got White Tea recently dropped.
Yep.
Make sure y'all stream that. Y'all got Donzo. Y'all got Filler Arc.
Donzo Ho.
Bro, I want to know from all of y'all, like, what made y'all decide specifically to rap about this specific niche that is anime?
Okay, you want to take that, Carson?
You know what? Actually, why don't we let Rob start us off? Yeah, give us your recollection.
The foundation.
The beginning. The Genesis.
Yeah. track practice ends. It's Saturday. You're exhausted, but you go down to the homie's house. You walk in. There's 17 people playing Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yes, sir.
Candid is destroying someone in Ninja Storm. There is another animator in the kitchen. We're drinking Kool-Aid. Like it was like that.
Story time
It
over
was
Kool-Aid
like
and
that.
ramen. Yeah.
I'm not exaggerating. For hours, you scrounge up $3 to buy a bagel somewhere, and then you come back to the house and play more Yu-Gi-Oh. Like it was like that. So it was only natural that we implement that into our music, and it was only natural that like we follow the same like our art goes in sagas and arcs, just like anime does. Mm-hmm. So like, it only made sense that we have formed this 4-man cell to really go on this journey, this anime-like journey that we're on, for real.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I guess we can kind of like to finish off the question.
Yeah.
During the pandemic, we spoke a little bit about how we got into like the Clubhouse era. Shout out our manager at the time, Chioma. She actually had a beta for the application Clubhouse, and she was like, "Yo, there's no guys on here. There's a lot of guys like promoting their music and their platform, but there's nobody talking about anime." So we said, "Okay, bet." Nikosi and I were the only people like with iPhones. I think Rob was upstate or like working at the time.
Yeah.
So both of us hopped on and we did a room that was DBZ is trash, prove us wrong. And basically like that room boomed. Like we averaged like 300 people for that room, and it was in beta at the time, like unheard of. And to that point we were like, all right, bet. I guess we got to start a community, because people came in like very hot, but over time they realized so hot. But over time they realized like, yo, these are some cool dudes. So like we actually fuck with them. So like basically then that night I was like in another room where it was like, why are all the hip hop rooms filled with old heads? And lo and behold, it was filled with old heads. So I actually got to know a lot of old heads on the platform, and through there I woke up and I had like 300 followers on Clubhouse, which is like unheard of at the time. So our manager, she was like, yo, you guys got to start an introduction room. We could start this club or whatever. And it's funny because this is something that's kind of like unheard. I was supposed to do acid with my girlfriend that day, and I still did. But we had a room for like 8 hours, and we talked about anime. Fully facilitated that room.
Wild
it was
tripping.
an amazing time. Wild tripping balls.
Bruh.
Crazy as shit. Talk about anime and shit. Yeah. I did like 3-4 taps.
Jesus.
It was a time. But at a certain point, hey, it's a chicken salad. You know what I'm saying? But shit, at a certain point, like it was a vibe, and it slowly from there grew into a community, to which then we were like, yo, we, because of the pandemic, actually kind of nixed our whole project. We had a 14-track project of songs that we've been performing for like years before.
Which y'all will get eventually.
Yes, which y'all will get eventually.
To
Some
all
of
the
us
people
still
who are
ain't
upset
out,
about
but
it.
shit. But I mean, I think White T was one of them.
Yeah,
White T
absolutely was one of them.
So slowly we're kind of like inundating some of these singles in, but I digress. But basically, we got to a point where we're like, hey, listen, like we had this project, but we're not really doing anything anime related, even though we're cultivating this large anime community. So we said, hey, how about we do a 4-track EP? And our manager at the time, he was like, hey, listen, just y'all each individually make one song. I think all of us made like 5 songs, which we whittled down to what?
Like 8?
8? Yeah.
It was like it was 10. It was gonna be more, but like some of them we couldn't get the rights to. So it was like
So basically, we cut off. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So we doubled the number. We had to double it, and we kind of took that, and that became Slice of Life EP. And I'm super excited because we actually have the deluxe coming out very soon, and we're spinning the block again with that concept. So
and something just to add to that was that like the anime stuff, incorporating that into music, as Rob sort of said, like we sort of came up off of this, so it wasn't something that was like super hard. Originally we were like, oh, how do we do this in a way that's not cringe? And we thought that would be a challenge, but it was simple because it's like it's embedded in us, this interest, this love for anime. We did it casually, and what's really funny is that our manager was like, oh, come up with this many songs. We doubled that and exceeded our own expectations, but we realized that wasn't even the first anime song we made. The first one that we made was back in 2018, I think it was Ultra.
Oh yeah.
Ultra, which is coming out in 3 weeks, actually.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
If the shoe fits, make sure y'all check them out.
It was one that we came up with, and then we performed. I think for one of the first few times at Brooklyn Comic Con, and we got a lot
And the Coliseum.
And the Coliseum, yeah. And we got a lot of good reception for it. You know, the anime fans, they're lurking everywhere. You know what I'm saying? They're always excited to get into that with you. So it's something that's sort of natural to us. It's something that we can sort of do.
That's dope.
I have a question for y'all. So, you know, like on the niche, like talking about anime and rap music, right? Were you ever scared that people were only going to associate you as an anime rap group?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Let me get into this. I need to say a couple things. So boom, the genre of anime hip hop has existed for a long time. It's called nerdcore, and nerdcore hip hop has existed and has had prominent members for a long time. But because of an apparent glass ceiling, there's kind of like a limit in which where nerdcore artists kind of have broken the barrier. So we actually have intentionally danced the line of we are connected with a ton of nerdcore artists, desire to work with them deeper, but we 100% have identified that if you cauterize yourself too much into this market, it is very hard to get yourself out of that quicksand. So as much as we do love people speaking about it, and we kind of try to dance where it's kind of we're still relatable to people who might not even like anime, just so when we take that eventual step back, because it is coming at a certain point, that we really don't have to kind of wipe our hands clean. It's something that always was just a part of our being.
True.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's up. Just for the listeners, it could either be each one of y'all, or y'all can decide as a group. Which one of your anime-based songs do y'all think go the hardest?
The one coming out next, bro.
That's right there.
It's the one you're going to have to tap into.
That's a good answer.
Link in the bio.
Nah, but to give my homie flowers, I gotta say, what made Slice of Life EP really make sense is Candace's contribution.
Yeah.
He wrote the concept for Almighty Zeus, and I think for everything that we really had for that project, he kind of, that's the spline of the project. All the pages, even though we have this relaxed thing like that, if we don't have something as Bogart as anime titties, I feel all of it kind of doesn't connect as cohesive.
Yeah, break down Almighty Zeus for them real quick.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on now. Stop being shy.
Break it down.
Come on.
So what were you watching before you wrote it?
I was actually reading my Bible.
That's crazy.
That makes me look worse, don't it?
It's the Virgin Mary.
So,
Yikes.
I mean, I think basically the thing about music is that we sort of are drawn to music for this connectivity, right? You know what I'm saying? When we listen to music, we're looking for a feeling. And sometimes when we listen to music, we hear something and we're like, wow, I didn't know other people felt that way too. This is a feeling that I didn't have the words for. I wasn't able to put it together until I heard it this one time over the strings, the 808s, the drums, the snare, all of that sort of stuff. So I was looking into it and thinking, all right, if we're going to make these songs for this new project, how do we tap into the real essence of what it means to be a human? And when I thought about that, I was like, anime titties. Okay. It just makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It just
I agree.
makes sense. So then it just, my body was taken over. I was possessed by the spirit of anime titties, and it just the song writes itself. I don't know what else to
If you
say.
look at the Venn diagram, that is content creators, cosplayers, musicians, and also just general fans of anime. All things, the nexus point is anime titties.
That's what I'm
Think
saying.
about it.
Really
Think
think
about it. He's
think
spitting.
about that.
When you're right,
You know
you're
what I'm
right.
saying? Really think about that. So
Wait, best pair of anime titties though.
Go ahead, bro.
I'm a pretty tame person, so I'm gonna go with best girl Hinata. You know what I'm saying? I see what she working with behind them fishnets.
That's wholesome.
But how you feel how they finessed her in Boruto though? They took him right away.
what? Damn, you was checking?
Magnifying glass, son. I was like, where they at?
I was like, damn, they did that. That's crazy.
They reduced the diameter by 0.3.
Nah, she was a solid D. They brought her down to a B
Should call
minus.
him B now. Yeah.
Tragic.
It's like a 28B now.
I'd probably say
Hinata, for me, I would go this is a crazy ass question. I would go.
Y'all made the song.
I think I'd go Esdeath from Akame ga Kill.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like she's like
Akami mommy. It's crazy. I
like
just
there
said
were
that.
some crimes. All right, she did do some bad things, but y'all see it.
Gotta acknowledge that.
I would say Tsunade.
Tsunade, shout out.
Classic.
Classic. Yeah.
Who you got, Rob?
I'm deciding.
There's a lot.
There's just so many.
He's going through the catalog.
Got
of
a
the
carousel
line.
going on in his mind.
I'm just picturing like the video game select your character.
Bro, the way he said, I'm deciding. Like, I was like, nah, he's really thinking about this.
I would also say Tsunade. That's what I was saying. Yeah, so.
Oh yeah. How about you,
Man of the
Kev?
culture.
Matsumoto from Bleach, man.
Okay, my
That's also
a
Bleach. So mine is actually a deep cut. I don't know if you ever seen the Street Fighter 2 movie. They did the fan service with Chun-Li in the shower. Chun-Li got the best anime titties in
Now
in
we
the
gotta
world.
tap in.
Y'all should
Facts.
edit that in.
Love that. All right, moving on from anime titties.
Let's cleanse ourselves.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so something very special is happening in anime very soon. Like later on tonight, I believe, One Piece is dropping the episode where they're finally introducing Gear 5.
Oh shit.
Right.
I am not caught up with One Piece yet. I'm on Impel Down, but as a person who does not mind spoilers, I have seen so much content that has told me what exactly Gear 5 is. We're not really going to get into it for the listeners, but what I do want to talk about is what do y'all think about Gear 5 dropping, and like how do you think this moment is going to affect anime culture?
Word. I love it. that's the soundbite, right? Like I love it. But on a deeper level, I think this is actually one of the greatest times to be alive if you're like just an anime fan in general, because I think the global community is coming together in a scale that we haven't seen maybe since like the introduction of Dragon Ball Super, where like you have large theaters in different parts of the world that are screening the Gear 5 episode, and like the seats are already sold out. We're talking Peru, Brazil, France. We're doing stuff in New York too. Like it's all over the world, and I think it's really great. And it's really heartwarming to see so many people from so many different walks of life coming together and bonding over this one shared piece of medium, and we're all going to experience it at the same time. So I'm really happy, and I really love all the content that's coming out of it. So yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah.
What do y'all think?
Even on the production side, just piggybacking off of that, I'd say that it's just an amazing opportunity for a lot of animation studios to flex their arm. Where even like, and I stand by this, I don't think this is a hot take, but we're in like the best era of animation in like anime that we've ever been in. Like shout out Mappa, Ufotable's going crazy. We got Studio Bones in the cut. Like Studio Trigger, my favorite, is still going crazy with the Star Wars collabs they did a few like maybe a year ago. So like there's so much stuff happening. But one thing that I love is that because Gear 5 is so important, like even you have Warner Bros. It's like, yo, like we're gonna jump in and assist with this animation. And even though it probably is something that's been happening in the past, the way that people rallied behind and got so excited about this collaboration is something that I feel like a lot of like larger studios and even like different brands can kind of look at and be like, hey, shit, like we can tap into anime and really win big. And I hope that happens because the more money, more opportunities, more amazing things we get to see in the future. So
Absolutely. And me, as someone who has not seen any of One Piece, I've not read any of it, bro, the design is hard. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, not for nothing. We talking about the cultural impact, and that's all super important, but like, the design is hard.
Yeah.
It's very hard. And I think it's really dope that like we're not only 20 years into, or even more, right, into One Piece, but even like 30 or so years into like transformations being into anime, such an integral part. And like Oda has been able to give his hardest of like Luffy's 5 transformations. I think that that's absolutely crazy. It's a story that's been going on for dummy long, and it's like we're not even done yet, bro.
Yeah.
It's like watch, we still got more gas left in the chamber. It's 1,000 chapters. It's 1,000 episodes. It's been 20 years, and y'all are still talking about it. So I'm
That's a
gonna
fact.
keep drawing it, and I think that's super fire.
Yeah.
I can't follow that up. But I agree with both, honestly. Like, it's great to see everyone from all walks of life coming together, like, in a community to show love and appreciation for this art form. Because it wasn't always love. It wasn't always as loud. And for those of us who were really coming up during that time, it was kind of rough, but now it's amazing. And I love that for us. Yeah.
So what you think, Jay?
Me, man, I just think it's gonna be lit, bro. Like I like when I saw all like the production work that they need to do to make it come to life. I was like, nah, this is crazy, bro. Like, this is legit crazy. And the way you just described it, bro, how they got multiple theaters streaming this shit, like that's crazy. That's honestly some shit that you would see for like the World Cup or some shit.
Exactly.
But this is anime,
Exactly, bro.
But now we can finally say this is anime. Like so going forward, you know, like it's gonna be even better.
Yeah.
It has to be, you know.
Hot take: anime better than the World Cup.
Facts.
Hot take: sports is dead, bro.
Unless we're talking blue lock. Unless we're talking blue lock. That's valid.
Sports is dead. But why you still kicking ball? Why you still shoot basket, bro? Draw a picture. Come on.
Y'all watch real sports, bro?
Yeah, right. Losers. We're talking
I like my anime sports.
Sir,
Yeah.
but nah, what I think about it is I think that shit's gonna be trash. And I'm joking.
All right, yeah.
Okay, One Piece team hates you already, bro.
I got like a death threat one time. Somebody said
Oh, that
something.
means you on, bro.
Facts.
Apparently, somebody said, "Yo, if I ever saw him, he would die of natural causes. I don't care if he fell off. I don't care if I pushed him off the boat. He fell."
That's
They said some
crazy.
shit like that.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's a little crazy, but come at us. Favorite comments.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
But
sir.
yo, speaking of transformations, I need everybody to go down the line and tell me what is your favorite transformation of all anime besides One Piece? Just any
damn.
other favorite
Besides
transformation?
One Piece?
Transformation. It could be One Piece too. You can start it off, Kevin. You
I'll
want?
start off.
Yeah.
Yusuke when he was fighting Senju, and then his great whatever level grandfather just took over, and then he went to that demon transformation, bro.
Facts.
That caught me so hard just because like it was so unexpected. I wasn't expecting him to have like a great ancestor that was a demon that could just take over and be a straight killer. And when I saw that just I loved it. Like Yu Yu Hakusho is my top anime, and seeing that moment to this day, I'm still like I get butterflies over that shit whenever I see the scenes on YouTube.
You know what old heads say?
Talk
They be
about
like, yo,
it.
y'all niggas too soft. You little niggas don't as hard as I used to. Feel me.
What you
I
got?
think it's difficult, but it's sort of like a medley. Like I'll say blanketly Dragon Ball,
I knew he was gonna
but
do
like for a couple reasons, right? Because like nothing will ever be able to match just the pure awe of like coming home from school one day and watching Goku go Super Saiyan for the first time as
nostalgia.
Planet Namek is dying.
Iconic.
Like that was crazy.
You mean those 17 weeks it took to
That's
happen?
what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
it took a long time, but like the emotional weight of that episode was just crazy. And I
Facts.
think I don't think they were the first people to introduce the trope of like your best friend dying and that's when you unlock your powers. But like they did it real well because the stakes were real high.
Yes,
but I
sir.
think what matched that for me was the Super Saiyan 3 transformation for the very first time. When like you know
So
you see
drawn
him
out.
turn into the ape and then like it
Curls
goes
up.
back into the thing. And you see like him as an embryo and all that. I was like, this is kind of crazy.
That shit was nuts.
I think the craziest part about that specific Super Saiyan 3 transformation was all like the fan art it inspired in the early 2000s.
Oh,
You remember that
yeah,
picture of like
yeah.
Super Saiyan 100 that's just like
Yes.
Goku swimming in hair. Yeah. And that had me on YouTube like, nah, I need to see this transformation. Where's the
Honestly,
Super Saiyan
I
100?
kind of you know those like candles with like saints on them you can get from the deli. I kind of want one of those with like that Goku on it. Yeah,
Yes.
I feel like that would be
That's
tough.
not a bad idea.
That honestly might be
The
fire.
Maria candles,
Yeah.
those is
Hey, if you see
fire.
that merch on our store, don't say nothing.
Yeah, don't worry about it. If anybody makes that, you're a thief.
Facts. That's me, bro.
Oh yes. So first I gotta say another Dragon Ball Z one. Trunks transformation when he went Super Saiyan 2 for the first time. That was an OD flex. Just jumped over one straight up and said, "Hey, bro, like we going straight to the big guns and whoop Cell's ass." Especially with like the family Kamehameha. That's like one of my favorite moments because at a certain point where some people had that like moment where they watched Goku transform for the first time. I was a little bit young for that, so I did get to see. I did see Cell. I did see this whole Cell saga. I remember watching the Cell saga, and that transformation just stood out. Like seeing Gohan like walked towards Cell like all pissed off, and he was like, "Hey, bro, you about to get this work." But my actual one, Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann, my number one series.
good show.
Honestly, I don't even want to say like a specific transformation. I just say watch the series. It's full of transformations. But like the whole story is about indomitable fortitude, the drill that will pierce the heavens, basically facing and overcoming things under like, you know, like unbeatable odds. And like really it's a narrative where it's like, who the fuck do you think we are? We about to go up and go crazy and beat your ass. And I've always just stood by that, and just the magnitude of the transformations, just it always gives me chills. So I still to this day listen to the soundtrack. I listened to it like last week. Yeah,
Facts. Great anime, top 10 for sure.
facts. That's not number one.
Yes, sir.
See, I knew they was gonna steal the Super Saiyan one. I knew they was finna do me dirty.
My fault, bro.
You know what I'm saying? He was like, "Oh, Goku Super Saiyan 1." He's like, "You know I had to double it. Goku Super Saiyan 2." I knew they was gonna bet me in a corner. You know what I'm saying? And that's fucked up, but it's okay because I'm gonna go. It's not quite as much like a physical transformation, but I'm gonna go Shigaraki in My Hero Academia.
Okay.
Oh my God.
When
Really?
when my man wakes up out the tank,
Yeah,
you
that
thought he
cool.
was dead. He get the little zap of lightning, and he's just on demon time for 10 straight episodes, bro.
Facts.
Just like bodying everybody. He only had, when he,
Bro,
bro,
Took
he
homies' cape.
killed a man just for his cape because he's like that.
Rest in peace, my boy wasn't crust.
Yeah,
Body.
R.I.P.,
bodied
bro.
a whole bunch of heroes with just a touch. Who you know doing it better than my fave, bro? Not a single soul. So, and he only has 75%. Listen, so Shigaraki is definitely gonna be one of my favorite anime transformations for sure.
Damn.
Nah, I feel you, bro. We at the end like
Yeah, I know. Honestly, man, I mean, I was trying not to be in Yu Yu Hakusho again, but I'm gonna say it. The transformation from Pooh's transformation from like the small animal he was to the literal like blue phoenix he turned into when Yusuke also had a transformation. I was like,
That was cool.
that's on. But also lately. More random. Lately, I've been getting into like Sonic, and Sonic's transformation into Super Sonic is really hard, actually. Like that, all the lore is like it hits pretty hard, and I was like, damn, like Sonic is about that life. It's pretty dope. So yeah, that's pretty about it.
Okay, fire. Shit, the last.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Is
You say anything Boruto, fam? Like,
Nah, we haven't done Boruto on this side.
Baryon mode.
Barry mode was hard. I'm not gonna lie. But
that's the one.
probably my favorite transformation. I don't know if y'all seen this. So there was a Digimon movie called Digimon, the
Talk
last
about it.
movie.
Talk about
Bro,
Talk about it.
Basically, you know, like the main characters, like was it Tai and what's the bro's name?
Agumon?
Matt? They have an Agumon,
okay,
Agumon.
yeah.
So they have like a final evolution that goes above like War Greymon and Metal Garurumon,
Above
where it's
champion
like
mode,
they
yeah.
turn into humans, bro. Like on some crazy shit. Like that's my favorite transformation. Because the thing is, right? Once
gotta
they do
pull
that,
that up.
they was just like, yo, like we can't see you no more after this, so they can never fight with them again. Like, so you know, not only are you getting the peak, but you're getting the end of the character at the same time.
And this is in what movie?
I think it's Digimon the Last. I forgot what the
It's
name
called
of
The
it.
Last Movie.
Maybe.
Wicked.
I got you right now.
And they turn into humans, and then they disappear from that realm of existence.
Because it really started with like Digimon 2000, like where
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's called Digimon Adventure Last Evolution Kazuna, bro.
It came out 3 years ago,
no,
bro?
I'm gonna have to tap
I
in.
didn't
I don't
know
think I've
that.
seen that yet.
It's hard, bro.
You,
Look at
I've
their
ne-
final forms, bro. Crazy.
Oh,
Crazy. It's
dude.
dumb hard.
Yeah, that's hard.
All right.
Yes, sir. But tapping. Also, they did like 7 other movies before that too.
Yeah.
They
There
were
was
just
like a whole
dropping.
Digimon renaissance recently.
Yep, they did they renewed Adventure 2. They did a whole new first season again, and now they got season 2 remastered too. So they're going hard.
I gotta
I can't
tap
wait for
in.
when they do Frontiers, or is it Tamers?
Oh, Tamers.
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 Cars. That's my
Yeah,
favorite.
yeah,
Bro,
yeah.
Tamers goes crazy.
Nah, like Pokemon definitely won culturally when people were like, you know, Digimon versus Pokemon. It won culturally, but Digimon, it has such a better story, fam.
Facts.
Such a better story,
Yeah.
better characters, better
designs.
transformations, better designs. Like, bro, Digimon always over Pokemon.
Not just real quick. I'm
Go for
sorry,
it.
but I have to say this.
Yeah.
The way that I don't know if it's the community itself
Yeah.
or if like the Pokemon company does it, but the way that they're topping off Charizard for like the past 30 years, it needs to stop. It blows my mind because there was a special episode that came out recently where they're featuring new Pokemon from whatever the latest region. I haven't played a Pokemon game since like Omega Sapphire, but like it was the one that is the same artist who made the Mega Man characters designed those Pokemon, and so it's that Pokemon. But who is that Pokemon battling? Fucking Charizard. Like, bro, let it go. There are so many other Pokemon that exist in this universe, so many even better ones. So why are we still topping off Charizard? Just let it go. I just had to say that.
Just so iconic. Just so iconic. I honestly, I agree, because they also give Charizard way too many transformations.
Thank you. I didn't want to go into it. But
No, you're absolutely right. No, listen, I got you. I'll take the baton. You got the two like different Mega Evolutions, because he has two very
X and Y joints, right?
Yeah, they already dragged it. They have the X version and the Y version. Usually people got one. And then for each like area, they usually make like a new Charizard transformation too. Then you got Hisui Charizard, which is like the ancient Charizard. Like they just love bringing his boy back. But Blastoise,
the Gigantamax Charizard too, like
Venusaur, Blastoise, where they at though?
right.
Facts.
Trico, Skeptile. You know what I'm saying? Like where
Typhlosion, come on. Typhlosion for Relegator.
Listen,
Tell me.
like I'm gonna be honest,
guy.
like Blaziken, I feel like they fumbled the bag.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So much. That was one of my favorites.
And guess what? Blaziken beat Charizard's ass in the Pokemon tournament.
Oh, really?
I can't.
Yeah.
I'm
like
surprised
Johto League.
because they usually make Charizard win by some BS. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're their favorite. But I digress.
I'm crying. You held that real close.
You makes me so mad.
It's real.
Nah. Shout out Pokemon, though.
Yes, sir. Shout out Pokemon. But shout out
That last
Digimon more
episode was
though.
tough too. That last episode.
Sir. Oh yeah, what did Pikachu beat?
I see.
Wait, what did he beat?
He beat Charizard.
Oh yeah, that's what. You see?
didn't wanna go too
Why is it so
deep
peak like
into
that? That's crazy. Damn.
That's crazy.
That's actually crazy. Damn.
Yeah, nah, they were definitely deep on that shit. Man,
Yes, sir.
golly.
Yo, switching gears a little bit once more. On this podcast of recently, like some of our clips have blown, but mainly because of like negative things. So I want to switch it up a little bit, and I want to talk about like some of our favorite anime things. So it's going to be more of a conversation. We'll have topics to guide us along the way. If you feel the need to push it elsewhere, it can go there. But yeah, let's just do this thing. First thing we're going to touch base on is your favorite anime character that ain't going nowhere. So I'm talking about an anime character that he's a part of the squad, but you know he's never going to be the strongest, but he'll put in assistance where he can, but there won't be much development in him.
Bro, I'll start. The GOAT of that trope is my man Krillin.
Let's get it.
Listen. The real ones know. It's a lot of real ones here. There was a very knowing, in the air, but like for those uninitiated, Krillin is dope because like one, he's Listen.
That boy's sorry.
No, he's sorry as hell. But the thing is, he has the benefit of one, living in a universe where it's only 3 guys. It's 3 guys at the top. If you're not one of those 3, you were sorry anyway. But not only is he sorry, but he won because he got Android 18, bro.
Facts.
Come on now.
Winning off the court.
bro.
Sometimes being a good player means winning off the court, not winning on the court.
You see, and Krillin, like, listen, he's not your star player. He's not even a role player you're gonna look to for assistance. But he's coming off the bench. They don't even need him to come off the bench. But he's training squad, bro. He's making sure our star players are limber. They're ready for any game. You know what I'm saying? That's Krillin.
Krillin's a towel boy.
Yeah,
Krillin is the towel boy, but he lives he's at an organization where the towel boy makes $500,000 a year.
Union.
Now
listen, cowboy. He's beating the bricks out of every other towel boy. That's all he care about. In his league, he's doing good.
That's
it's
what I'm
funny because
saying.
I just watched a clip like yesterday of when Cell finally got to his ultimate form and Krillin was like one of the only dudes there, and it made me think. I'm like, why is Krillin in the line and duty like this all the time?
Retire.
Like Dragon Ball Z love doing that. And he's throwing like a million punches at once. Like Cell is like checking his hands. Then Krillin backed up, hit him with the Destructo Disc. They even did the thing with the Kamehameha when it's like a strong move where the lights go out and everything. Bro, it hit his neck and dissipated. He cracked his neck and said, "Anyway," and started beating the brakes out of Krillin. He beat him so hard that they did like some Super Smash Bros shit where they punched Krillin into the camera. Like,
and now listen, while all of that is bad. Not only did he not die that time, but he went home to 18. Who's up, bro?
That's true.
Who's up?
Nah,
Who's
technically
really
she
up?
was eating at that time. That's how we locked it in.
That's true. That's true. He managed to wish her back.
Yeah.
And now that's his
And
shorty.
make her human.
And make her a
human,
human.
yeah.
Bonus points. A lot of niggas wouldn't have thought to do that, but my man Krillin.
Yeah.
He
It's
on
not
top
choice
of
for
it.
everybody. It's not
breathe
choice
this
for
real quick.
That's a deep cut. That's a deep ass cut. Shit, who's another nigga? I gotta say, oh my gosh. If we really gonna get into it, I'm sorry, but I gotta say, like, man, like, Choji, I love that man, but like he's just not moving forward.
Bruh.
But the thing is,
However,
he got a sister.
He got him a black queen. Who's
win
up,
off the
bro?
court. Win off the
Exactly.
court. And the
that's
thing
the-
is, he's eating good too. He's eating
true.
good.
Literally eating good.
Skin good. Like you
Literally
see, his
eating
hair is
good.
done.
Yeah,
Like his
literally.
daughter, beautiful. Like
You
he
know
has
what
an
I'm saying?
amazing family, thriving. But
That's
look, is he changing? Is he growing? I don't know. But the
Can't
funny
say.
thing is, he can.
He can.
He can, but he's just not.
Yeah.
Nah, Choji's a good example because then you got a character like Kiba where
He not up. He not up, bro.
he's like a substitute teacher now. Like, what's this man
That's
doing?
what
I think
saying.
Kiba even married into a cat family too.
Yeah, he got a shorty who like cat
Wow.
shit.
Yeah.
Just like,
Damn.
Yeah.
it's like, bro, you didn't even
Damn.
stand on your principles, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, claiming to be Hokage. He was like, yo,
Right, crazy,
Naruto, I'm
bro.
gonna take over and be Hokage.
Right.
Honestly, that actually hurt me so much because dude said, "Yeah, I'm gonna be Hokage." Everybody stared at him and said, "Anyway, how we gonna do with this shit?" Like, yo, nobody took him serious.
That nigga Kiba be
Yo,
talking.
that shit hurt me. Like, I was like, "Fuck, like that."
You know what I'm saying?
Keep it
Yeah.
sorry, bro.
Yeah,
He's OD
it's,
sorry.
bro, it's tough.
Yeah, that
It's
shit's
tough out
crazy.
here. But that's the thing, like, we are too with this shonen shit accustomed to thinking like, oh, you win by being the strongest nigga out there.
Right.
But it's like Grant's saying, you could win off the court.
Win off the court.
But a part of winning off the court is you got to keep your intentions quiet. Don't be like Kiba
Yeah.
saying that you want to be the big dog, pun intended, and you don't got it like that,
Chill,
bro.
bro. What are your stats, man?
That's what I'm
He
saying,
got
bro.
one body in the tuning exams.
Exactly.
And
It's
then
like,
the rest are filler.
on
Let's be
now.
for real, Kiba. Come
It's
on.
like that's the shot you take. Do you practice that shot?
You got one cannon body.
Do you
can't be
practice that
Hokage.
shot? Come on, you got one cannon body
Yeah.
from when you was 12.
If
It's
you
not
didn't even
realistic.
clap in a Koski member, you can't even be up.
That's why you
Like
can't
at least
even talk about
Shikamaru, like he deserved to be in
Yeah,
office
that's
because
what
he
I'm
clapped in a
saying.
Koski member too.
That's
You know
what
what
I'm
I'm
And
saying?
Shikamaru handled it by his lonesome
By
By
his
his
too.
own
lonely
self.
and
Bro.
talked his shit too. He said,
Talked his
"I'm
shit.
packing you up and you're done."
That's
Like
what I'm saying.
that's a big flex, but
He literally said smoking on a heat on pack and flicked the cigarette. That's crazy. That's hard.
Built
That's
different.
hard.
Built
Alright,
different.
Fendi.
I would say my character is Joey Wheeler. So like,
Real Brooklynites.
I say that because canonically speaking, Joey Wheeler is likely the best duelist we've seen in the show
That is
because
true.
he
That is
does
true.
not bullshit at all. Like a lot of his wins are either via luck, like Time Wizard, or like through skill that he eventually learns by working with Yugi so much. But like Kaiba be winning through bullshit, Yugi be winning through bullshit, and like Pegasus and Merrick and all them guys, they have the mystic
have magic,
powers on
bro.
exactly.
Niggas got
Joey
magic.
Wheeler's just raw dogging
He's
duel
just a
monsters.
dude.
Like
Celtic
cards-
Guardian.
like the cards are always stacked
1300
against
deck.
him. So while he might win some battles here and there, like in the Duelist Kingdom, he was able to get the prize money from Yugi and all that stuff. Like he's not beating the heavy hitters, except
Yeah, talk to him. Tell him about it, bro.
he
Tell
was
him
the
about it.
only dude canonically who technically beat Merrick
Yup.
on his own merit.
Yup.
The only reason he lost
Yup.
is because he couldn't say attack,
Yeah.
which
True.
I find issue with.
Which is bullshit,
but
bro.
whatever. Yeah, that is bullshit. But unfortunately, Yugi has to be the one who saves the day every time. Blah 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 blah. But Joey Wheeler not going anywhere so long as Yugi's on the team. So
Yeah.
that's where we at.
Fuck Tristan though. He not like that.
I forgot
He
about
was
him.
never him.
Yeah.
He only dueled like once and lost, and then
Honestly,
lost his body.
And he went after Joey's sister.
Yeah.
Which was that's some snake
that's some
shit,
fine
Who's
bro.
blind? Like that. We gotta talk about that.
It's like how you go
We
after
gotta
your
talk about
homie's
that.
blind sister when she's in the hospital,
And
bro?
he
That's
flexing
crazy.
his voice. Like whenever you pull up, he talk mad high pitched, but you pull up on his sister. Hey, what's going on? Like, yeah, how you doing? Like, bro, you gotta be for real. Come on now.
Bro, watch who you keep in your circle, bro. It's some
Facts.
snakes.
But you know what the real merit is? The real merit is, Joey still got Red Eyes Black Dragon, and Red Eyes still getting love in the game to this day.
Yeah.
To this day, Red Eyes is
To
still
this
up the
day.
streets.
To this day. We just talking in memes. Like we not even really.
Oh yeah, that's the timing I came on today. My brain is like 99% TikTok sounds right now.
That's fantastic.
Oh, girl.
Bobby, you got one?
Yeah.
Mine will be Kuwabara probably.
Yo, shout out.
Yeah. Because he went from just being like Yusuke's like rival, but then he went, he joined up. He learned a few skills. He even got an interdimensional sword. But
Facts.
after that, when it came time for the Three Kings, that particular arc, he knew he had to kind of just like wrap it up. And like he knew he had to go back home. He knew what to do, and I respect him for that. But now he's up because now the maturity is shown. You know what I'm saying? Now he's chilling. He's doing well in school. He has a life outside of like fighting people. You know what I'm saying? Which is a lot more than what I can say for the other. 3 people in this squad, especially Yusuke. So he's up, he's calm, and he knows his lane. He knows his lane. So that's what it is.
You
Yeah.
gotta look at it like the power creep too much, bro. I need to
It's
be
too
much.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
I'm gonna go get a desk job. Like that's really.
he
get a pension.
started super strong in
Yeah.
consideration of like in consideration of where like where Yusuke was, like he was Aki from the start, but it just distance.
Yeah. He didn't have the growth.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Definitely didn't have as much growth. And speaking of like trying to steal somebody's sister, Kuwabara was on that type of
shit.
time too.
Oh, but he didn't know.
Yeah, he didn't know. It was
Yeah, he didn't know. Yeah, actually, Key didn't tell anybody.
Wait,
right?
did he never find out?
No, he never found
I
out.
don't think he ain't never told people. Right?
Nah.
Some of these
shit.
anime
Yeah,
dudes
true,
trying to bag another dude's
That's
sister.
what-
Yeah, it's real.
That shit
It's
is
real.
nuts.
Kuwabara get a pass though. He get a pass.
Yeah, 'cause remember when like they came back and Kubar was all like, all 3 of you lost? I would have died.
Bro,
Oh, y'all came back?
all 3 of you lost. That's crazy. I would have died. Yeah.
this dude, he ain't like Yusuke's Yusuke. Kuwabara's like the king of thieves, and like he can summon fire from a different dimension. All 3 of y'all got your ass beat. Bro, I'm just a guy. Like,
Can you imagine like having to greet your friends and being that character when they come back and you still scared about the way to, so you like, so what y'all gonna do, like train or something, like you already trying to trigger them into like, so like when y'all gonna start, like when's the next fight, like I'm just curious, you know what I'm saying, like
can Genkai give you a power boost, or like how does that
I'm
work?
just saying, it's just the weight of the world, including me.
You sure your grandfather died?
I can't do it.
You sure your grandfather died? He can't come back?
It's like y'all just a little casual about the situation. That's all.
I feel like with all these characters, I would just be stressed to be in every single one of these worlds. Cause it's just like, you telling me I'm not the main character, bro. Like I'm really the side nigga who just gets like destroyed every time. Like that's
Gotta go
crazy.
find somebody's sister, bro. That's how you.
That's the key, right?
That's
The only way out.
That's the only way out.
Or even Krillin to 17 is like, bro, I got your sister though. What happened?
That's Yo, what is this kind of? Yo, that's actually kind of crazy. I never thought of
That's
that.
a lot of sister stealing.
That's a lot of sister stealing.
That's how you up.
So that's
trying to do that with
He's next up, bro. Stop playing.
Yikes.
Don't sleep on Zenatsu. He next up. He clutching every fight. You feel me?
Bruh. Nah, that's wild.
That's joke.
Oh, next
the next
question.
question,
Yes,
yeah.
sir. Let's load it up, boys. All right. So, funniest anime friendship.
Gon and Killua, bro.
High key.
They're dumb as fuck, stupid as hell.
Yeah.
2 young dudes who have no fucking idea about the world, but are so excited to just take over. And the funny thing is, like Killua protects Gon. Gon is definitely the more happy-go-lucky one, and
Fact.
Killua's just catching a vibe. Like Killua's like, nah, I could be like way more strategic, but like this is lit. But Gon is just straight up crazy. But the thing is, Gon is the hitter, so it's kind of like you have like 2 dudes, and one dude is like always wearing black Air Force Ones, but he gives off the energy that he's nice. And then you have the dude who gives off black Air Force One energy that's actually mad chill. And like if you talk to Gon the wrong way, you're done. You're done.
And
Folded.
God forbid you say some shit to Gon and Killua not there. Bro.
Yeah.
That's it.
What do you mean this and this and that? When his fist ball like, all right, bro, chill, you good?
That's what I'm
Nah,
saying.
the coldest moment with Gon was when I think it was one of the Chimera ants. He was like, "Nah, I'm gonna help you," and then Gon was like, "All right, cool." And then Killua was like, "Yo, bro, why you gonna let him do that?" And Gon's response was, "Nah, I trust him, and if he fucks us over, I'm just gonna murder him."
Which
That's
was
just what it is.
crazy. Which was crazy.
It's like, bro, you 11.
This is a child. Oh,
Nah,
God.
they knew who
He's
they
kinda
was
innocent.
early. Feel me? But
Who else we got?
more anime friendships.
he kind of started out mad hot with that one.
Bro,
That's good. That's a real
immediately
good one.
came to mind. I was like,
Yeah.
nah, go on and kill her. Those some two dumb young dudes.
Yeah.
Facts.
Silly as
Yo,
hell.
I would say the relationship between the dude from Chainsaw Man, who's
Denji.
there we go, Denji and Power. Their relationship is just
Oh, yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like after
Dumb
she
and
tries to
dumber.
kill him, then they're just buddy going through these ridiculous missions together, and it's a great relationship. I like seeing it play out.
Nah, their training montage was hilarious.
Yes.
oh yeah. That was one of the good training montages ever, bro. That shit was hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all not done yet? Alright.
That's a fact. Who
I
else we got?
think what I'll go with maybe like as an underrated one is oh my god, what's his name? Tanjiro and Inosuke. Specifically when like they in that train arc when they first see a train for the first time and Zenitsu and Inosuke is like being himself. He's like, the Lord of the Mountain is here. Oh my god, he's so loud. Da da da. And Zenitsu's like, oh my god, like here you go being a country bumpkin again. You were raised by animals, like that's why you're like that. And then Tanjiro's like, oh my god, it is the Lord of the Mountains. Because Tanjiro's never been anywhere. He's never seen anything. So I would love an entire arc of them just going around the entertainment district, just looking at shit.
Slice of life, yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just on some calm shit.
That would be
That's
fun.
fire.
That's
I think I'm gonna say actually Bakugo and Deku.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because for the longest time, Bakugo is really talking his shit and really
Yeah, Deku
treating
was just a
Deku like shit. and now it's getting to the point where, at least I feel, I'm waiting for when Deku snaps. Because I feel like it's gonna get there and be like, I love you, you're my brother, but like, I gotta beat the piss out of you, and then you can talk to me like that crazy. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's like really, I think it's like an interesting dynamic. You know what I'm saying? How he's talking shit for all that long, and then he apologized.
Yeah, he did.
He apologized, and I was
He
kind
knew
of
Deku
like,
was about to snap.
that's
He
what
was
I'm
like,
saying.
Right, bro.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I always found that. You know, like yeah, I always found that
So
dynamic
you're
interesting.
saying Bakugo changed his whole character arc because he's now scared of Deku for real. He's like, yo,
Yo,
really?
That's my headcanon, bro.
For
That's
real.
my headcanon.
Because at a certain point, if you start seeing that this dude got all for one's powers and he start to learn how to use them, he's like, oh, he's not damaging himself. I'm gonna take a step back.
Yeah.
You got it. You got
He
it.
realized that he was not the main character. He realized he wasn't the main
Truly.
character, and there was no sister's shoulder to cry on. He's like, bro, I gotta protect myself, so I'm apologize.
True.
Facts.
True. What would y'all do if you were Deku and Bakugo, you know, started acting different? Like, would you forgive and forget?
After the fight, yeah.
It depends on what part of the story we're in.
Okay.
Big facts.
No spoilers, of course.
Yeah.
If it's later on in the story, we got bigger fish to fry. But if it's earlier on in the story, and like I feel like they did scrap. They fought several times. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Can't talk to me sideways my
That's
whole
what I'm
life.
saying.
Man.
Honestly, though, kindergarten through like the 7th grade.
That's a long
Crazy,
time.
bro. That's
I feel like at some point I would have just pulled out my little notebook and read that motherfucker to filth. I would have read them.
I
be
would
like,
just
oh.
like, here are your weaknesses, bro. Like,
Exactly. Like, oh, you think
He
he's so
kind of
good?
did.
Yeah, straight up.
Nah, imagine like mid mission though, like they fighting villains. And he goes, actually, if you want to fuck Bakugo up, bro, let me
that's crazy. That'd be so
submerge this nigga, make him
petty.
take a shower because he's sweaty as hell.
yeah. Or even pettier, just like a time after Bakugo got his ass beat, he's like, you know it's because you're not using your energy efficiently, my boy. I told you about it earlier, but you don't want to listen.
That's fact. That's fact.
Also, not for nothing, when he first met, when Deku first met Uraka, Bakugo called him by the Deku name. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna disrespect me in front of the shorty.
In front of
That's
Shorty.
fucked
Yeah,
up.
just call me useless in front of
Yeah, that's
Right,
fucked
bro.
up.
In boys, so next question. So we all love art. Y'all artists, we're artists. What is your favorite anime aesthetic?
Oh, Ghibli core.
Good one. Delicious food always looks good.
Sir.
Yeah. Shoot. I'd probably say Studio Trigger. Like Studio Trigger, the best way to describe it is if you ever seen Neon Genesis Evangelion. The story behind Studio Trigger is literally the main animator from from that series kind of broke off and then made his own thing. So then you have Kill la Kill, Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann, like all of those kind of like, you know, that have those, that very loose style where like the animation is very like push and pull, but it's very like kind of like jagged in a lot of ways and like choppy. Like, yeah, like also, I don't know if Fooly Cooley is included, but it might. He might have just been a part of that team, but I digress. But yeah, at a certain point, I just love that art style. Yeah, I love that art style. It's just super animated and also like super colorful. Every single series.
Oh yeah.
For me, it's going to be 90s like shoujo romantic Johns, just because it's like
big eyes.
Bro, why they eyes so big and their limbs so long? Like, why do you all look like that, bro?
Facts.
I love it.
Wait, have you ever seen Nana? You ever seen the
I
Nana
have
anime?
seen Nana, bro.
Yeah.
Like, they all look tall.
Yeah.
Like, they all look so
They be
tall.
5'2", looking like they 7'5".
Talk about
You
it.
know, it's the same thing like that. Code Geass.
Oh,
Like they're all lengthy, all lengthy triangle bodies. Like their shoulders are literally right angles.
Like, what is that?
It's like, why y'all look like that?
I think mine is actually like 80s anime kind of thing. Yeah, because I feel like the way that she drawn goes perfectly with like the disco-esque like music.
Give us some
That was happening
examples.
back then. Yeah, I mean the perfect example is actually like oh shit, not Flower Bomb.
Ooh,
I'm horrible.
Devilman Crybaby?
Nah, I'm thinking about the song the intro song for Yu Yu Hakusho. Smile Bomb. Yeah, like that kind of that sonically curated sound. I think goes perfectly with the way that it is drawn, like how dramatic it is, like the especially like the way the characters were dressed and how like their outfits were so.
And the scenery too, like everything's just watercolor.
Pastel
Yeah. That's my
It
favorite.
almost feels like it has like this film grain on it looking back now.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I do like the lo-fi, but what do you guys think about the hi-fi? So like, you know, directors like the guy who makes Your Name, Weathering with
Let's
You.
talk about it. Matter of fact, y'all go first.
No, he about to cook. He about to cook.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right. Okay, so I'm noticing there's this trend happening
Talk about
where
it.
we'll have very high production quality for these anime movies, which I really love and appreciate because there was a time when that wasn't the case, and maybe you get one anime movie every other year. Now you can get multiple in a year, and you're almost guaranteed to have very, very high visuals for that. But I think my problem is that somewhere along the line, we've started to sacrifice the actual plot of these stories. Visuals.
Like the bubble one.
And I'm not gonna name it. I'm not gonna go into specifics, but I remember I went to see what was hailed as the greatest animated movie of the year. This was last year or 2 years ago.
Okay.
So I'm in movie theaters. I was like, wow, this is visually stunning, but this story is ass. Who wrote this? And like, I remember trying not to be a not so great moviegoer about this. Like I went, I read some reviews. I like watched like people talking about why it was so great, and I was like, y'all are mostly talking about how it looked and like the score and who was singing and you know the emotional impact.
Blink twice
of
if
those
it was
scenes.
Belle.
I'm not.
And nah, I get you.
I'ma cover
I get
my
you.
eyes.
I'm gonna have to big agree with that one.
I get you.
mean, yeah, that movie was not for
like,
me, bro.
it looks great, and
Yeah.
if I was like maybe 5-6 years younger and I went in, that would have been enough for me.
Yeah.
Facts.
But like, you gotta come harder than that.
It
Facts.
didn't. I feel like if we're talking about progression, they did not do better than Summer Wars.
Oh, dude, Summer Wars is hard to beat though.
It's hard to beat.
That's really
but at a
GOAT
certain
level,
point, like let's be honest, they did the same concept. They had the same world that I'm so in love with the world building of Summer Wars and of Belle. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, like when it comes to the plot, like it kind of fell short. Like it was literally the same plot as Summer Wars, but it was kind of spun where it's like, nah, this is like a social influencer, so they kind of try to spin it for like a 21st century.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of stuff was lost because there wasn't as much as the pull like there was in the past. Like I feel like in a lot of ways there are certain series that you can like fall in love with because like they have the visual aesthetics and they have the story as well. But like this one directly just kind of had like, you know, it had the visuals like you were saying, but like something was just missing. Maybe it was the love story. I feel like I didn't like the Suzu, like the main antagonist, the Beauty and the Beast of the Beauty and the Beast.
Very Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, he was very straight like Suzu. Like every time he talked, like it was kind of like the straight, kind of like stoic thing. And I kind of liked how in Summer Wars, not to like go back and compare them a lot, but I still am. But at a certain point, like there was just a lot more of a love story to be told on top of all the other stuff that was playing.
Yes, sir.
So it just felt a lot more well-rounded.
I mean, that's a good opinion, bro, because they all made by the same director. Like, Bell was made by Summer Wars. Mamoru Hosoda, I think that's his name. He also made the original Digimon movie. So
on a crazy
he kind
run
of just
right
keeps
now.
building on the same aesthetic.
Yep, and I listen. Digimon 2000 and Summer Wars are two of my favorite anime movies
Gas.
of all time. So like,
crazy.
I'm not trying to knock him as a director. You're one
Facts.
of my favorites, bro.
Yeah.
But like at a certain point, it's just you take shots. But I will say, the continuation of the question, Ufotable, I think goes crazy.
Oh yeah.
For one, their animation, but also their ability to bring in mediums that aren't naturally like animated. Like they do water so good. Like especially with their like at that time I got reincarnated as slime. A lot of their effects are either very like water based, where it's kind of like you see this droplet effect, but it's kind of like if you put red dye into like water and you see kind of like the push out and there's just like this ink blottage, or they have this very like bright lightning, and putting them both on top of each other makes this amazing gradient. But what I love even more is the crunchy ass energy sounds that they put in every single series.
The Foley.
Like Ufotable love themselves some crunchy electricity. It's like Transformers.
Sound
but,
design is great.
Yeah, but the sound design is absolutely amazing. So yeah, that's probably my favorite. For
they are
High
so good, and they've been good forever. They did the Fate series.
Yep.
Bruh. Crazy. It was like 2012, and they were doing anime quality that was like better than some animes
Unheard
now.
of. Yeah.
Crazy. Love it.
For sure. And so, like, with stuff like that, like, transitioning into, like, anime style, the latest anime style that I see on the streets is 3D. Like, I don't know if y'all watched the latest season of Jujutsu Kaisen, but season 2, episode 5 just dropped. Most of the episode was 3D, and no one was talking about that. And it looked completely different from everything else. So are y'all jacking the 3D look, or is it kind of just like, hey, it's too early, I think we need to wait a little bit? Like, how do you guys feel about that?
I have not seen that most recent episode.
Neither have I.
Oh, yeah.
I'd say like it really to me comes down to shading. I love when because a lot of people kind of like had vehement issues when Attack on Titan like the final season came out, and you had like these 3D Titans, and people really didn't appreciate it, especially the Colossal Titans. But one thing that I feel like Jujutsu Kaisen kind of did different, and Chainsaw Man did different, is that they shaded the 3D elements a lot more. So by cell shading them, it gave them borders that kind of like placed them a lot deeper into the world. Or even if you look at like Curse Energy, like you have like the blue flames, but the flames have a thick black layer on it. Yeah. So by them putting that black layer on like a lot of the 3D objects, it seems like it's like 3D, but it's more so coming into the screen. And even like in like when Gojo is kind of like doing movements to like kind of move stuff around, like you could still understand because of like the way that they shaded shadows and stuff. Yeah. So it just gave a lot more depth. So I wouldn't say like I hate 3D, but it's just like you got to do a little more work to make it immersive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're making it immersive, but also make it just, I guess, like cohesive to what goes on. Because like sometimes I'm watching it and I'm like, bro, like I can tell there's like 40 NPC characters walking in its frame, and it looks kind of like it just looks not cohesive at all. It just stands out.
I'll be
too
honest.
much.
I love Blue Lock.
Oh, I was just about to say that, bro. I was
Y'all
just
go
about to.
ahead.
Listen,
Go ahead. Yeah.
We all love Blue Lock so much. Everybody loves Blue Lock so much.
I love that show. I love
Like
the
that
manga.
ain't good. Nobody talks about it. But their use of 3D is just not good.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Like it's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
But I think in earlier episodes it was better. But sometimes they're just like, bro, we need to fill up some of this space.
Facts.
And they just like, here's some dudes running really slow. And it's like, bro, it's not going to
Their
cut
feet
it.
aren't touching the ground. Like,
Yeah.
It's the same person, just cloned.
It's the same person cloned. It's the same types of running movements that they're using for these 3D things.
Yeah.
They're not really like, I don't know. I feel like they're not to say they're not trying very hard, but it's like whatever they're trying to get across with that is just sort of phoning it in and trying to get to the next moment of what
They're saving the
actually gonna
budget.
draw. Yeah, they're
they're
saving the budget.
yeah.
And listen, we understand it's very tough with these anime. You have to do what you can in order to get to it. But like, as long as we're talking about it, it just doesn't look that great. And it's like a testament to how good the show is that nobody talks about the fact that the 3D shit just is not good. But going back to what Grant's saying, like you have to be intentional about how it is and how you're going to make it look. So whether that's going to be how you're doing cell shade, what you need to add onto it to make it more creative, give it a little bit more life, or what your intention is. Because like with Chainsaw Man, the thing is, when I read Chainsaw Man and found out I was getting the anime, I was like, I don't know how this is going to work.
Right.
Because it's just absolute chaos. So they decided to go the CG route, and they could have went the route where the crazy things they wanted to CG, they just did it that way, a la Attack on Titan, but you can run the risk of people complaining about that. So what strategic artistic decision do you make? The entire shit is 3D. And we're going to make it look a little bit different. So this is just the art style of it. And I think a lot of the 3D and anime, they don't approach it with that level of like understanding and like intentionality, and then you just get stuff that looks kind of weird, and then we complain about it, you know?
I agree. I think it just helps them push the product too, because you got to think about it. Like anime is great. It has to evolve, but also like I was watching Air Gear last night. Air Gear's been in 2006.
Shout out.
When they emote in Air Gear, bro, they literally cut the character into the frame, black out the background, and that's really it. Now with the new shit, bro, they're changing angles. They're hitting you with a 270. They're zooming in. They're pulling out. Like they have a lot more control over the production of the show now by adding 3D. So I think, as much as people hate it, I think that it's really going to aid in the growth of anime.
Dog, I was literally about to say I am not mad, because if y'all seen the most recent Kaiju number 8 trailer, oh my god, like listen, the way that they use 3D and sound design is insane, and it's immersive because you have to get kaiju, so the kaiju have to make sense in the grand scheme and the magnitude of what's going on. So like using 3D, they're able to, like, when the kaiju steps down, there's tremors, a car gets blown away, but even just having, like, you see the protagonist like standing in front of these giant like monsters, like it feels a lot more immersive. Like even reading the manga, I didn't take into account how large these monsters are until I actually saw it, like, in like animation.
Yeah, no, I feel like 3D is one of those things that you have to fail until you succeed. Just because like it's new technology, you're updating it as you go. I remember they did
Cold
Netflix.
Lyoko?
No,
Chill out, my bro.
yes, but more so recently, Netflix did a Saint Seiya adaptation, and it was just all 3D, and it looked ugly as fuck. Like you can't make. I feel like you can't make everything 3D. You just have to use it to like prop up the animation that you already have. Yeah. So shout out to the 3D animators. Hopefully it gets good enough where you can make everything 3D. But I think as of now, you just have to use it to like prop up what you already have.
True.
But
One more question. What are we doing, Kyle?
one more question on this, and then we'll switch over to hot takes. All right.
Oh boy.
So we want to know what your favorite villain backstory is.
Damn, there are like a few, but the first one that came to my mind, bro, it is Shigaraki. I'm gonna have to go back to Shigaraki, man. Like, his backstory is amazing. Obviously, a lot of his life was manipulated in ways that we still don't necessarily know, but his backstory is like, we live in a world where heroes are worshipped as celebrities. And in doing so, we sort of put the crux of our safety just on them and nobody else, as well on top of picking out who we deem as desirable and who we don't deem as desirable based on these powers that people are born with and have absolutely no control over. And we don't provide them with the resources to make sense of these abilities that they have as they navigate life. And as a result, now we have a situation where there are people who have to do certain things in order to survive, and we're calling them villains. And there are paths where people can have those situations prevented for them, but we're not looking out for people in a robust enough way, so they fall through the cracks. And now they're called villains. And now we have heroes out here trying to talk righteous to them, like, you're doing bad, you're this, that, and the third. And it's like, okay, but listen, society never gave me a chance. You have the ability to shoot fire out of your hands. My ability is that, like, I have to suck blood to feel comfortable with other people. Like, we're not the same. We're not going to reach the same outcomes. You know what I mean? So, and Shigaraki is a person who could have been helped. He could have been saved, but society just was not equipped to do that for him. So now he's vengeful towards it and wants to destroy everything. And people are going to him like, this is bad. Da, da. And what he's doing is bad. He's wrong. But at the same time, it's like, niggas never came to help him. You're only listening to him now because he has the ability to fuck your shit up. And he is vengeful of that. And his speech where he's like, this is what makes us heroes and villains. I was like, damn, he's really like that.
Yeah, he's talking to shit.
He's really like that. So Shigaraki is definitely one of my most interesting origins. And the shit that happened with his family, super fucking sad. Super fucking
Bruh, he
sad.
dusted all of them.
He didn't intend for that, and he was manipulated into that outcome. And after being manipulated by malevolent people, good people could have helped him, didn't. And that's where he's at right now.
Did not. Saw him as a villain. I feel like there actually is a very interesting way that a lot of men of color especially connect to a lot of villains that have to face class consciousness and essentially through their like malicious deeds try to show the juxtaposition between heroes and villains. So I'd say like my favorite is Itachi for that same reason, where like I remember actually seeing like the Itachi filler arc story that they put out, and I'm so happy that they did, because they showed him at a very young age like dealing with a lot of things and having a lot of like concepts that like young kids wouldn't deal with, but he was born on the battlefield. And he like literally had to catch bodies, but he was looking at like people who are like damn near dead, and he was like, why do we have to fight? Why do we have to do this? And at a certain point, then the dude pulled a kunai and he quickly slit his throat. He was like 6, like just playing around like with his dad, like while his dad cleaned up the battlefield. And that's like kind of how he grew up. And then you see him kind of go through the story of getting radicalized by then joining the Anbu at a super young age, and then having someone like Kakashi being an older mentor try to protect him, but still because of his talents, a larger conglomerate wants to use him to even stop his family from rebelling against the oppressive forces that put them in a certain place. It's a very, very loaded story. But one thing I love about it the most is that he took a step back after that, and he still chose to come back to the area, not to save his brother, but to be a message and a testament, a pillar that if you want to change the world, you have to become stronger than me. And I feel like it honestly gives me chills to this day, because when it comes to like personal sacrifice, there's no characters that really done it like Itachi. But I feel like when it comes to like people who spun the block and waited for the moment to turn good, it's Itachi. Like he saved the world. If it wasn't for Itachi, he came back and stopped reanimation jutsu and then brought himself back and had one of the most beautiful speeches with his brother saying, I always loved you. Like when it was time to give love, he gave all the love in the world to make sure that his brother was good, but he knew what he had to do to get shit done. That's a real nigga. I think the Uchihas are black people. That's just my hot take. That's my hot take.
Y'all hear that Instagram people, because everybody was talking shit about Itachi on one of our videos. They was going crazy.
Listen, shit, you could come at ITSF Collective. We got words for y'all.
Yes, sir.
Nah, shout out Itachi.
Y'all go right. We got words.
That is correct.
Who else we got?
Villains with backstories that we like the best.
Yeah, your
right?
favorite villain backstory.
Yeah. I had one and then I lost it.
Let me throw it in the air then.
Okay.
Let me add on to what Grant is saying about Itachi.
Yes, sir.
That story and that whole backstory about how Itachi had to go through everything he did was absolutely amazing, and that's what makes Sasuke's villain origin one of the most fire ones as well.
Yes.
And I feel like people aren't ready for that conversation. People don't like to talk about Sasuke. People like to hate on Sasuke because he was emotional. But look at the life that he had. Look at what he had to go through. You be bitching and moaning about shit too. You be bad vibes at the function too. If your older brother slaughtered everybody you ever cared about. Facts. And now some blonde-haired, blue-eyed kid is talking about let's be friends. Nigga, I don't fuck with you. My goals are beyond your understanding, bro. And a lot of people like to...
He said that shit too.
Yeah, like... And a lot of people like to, judge my man Sasuke for, sort of flip-flopping on what he believes. But one, he's been through a lot. Two, he's literally 16 years old.
Exactly.
And three, he has to go through all that trauma at a young age. And now he has the power to affect the circumstances that put him there. Yeah, of course, even if his brother's like, bro, protect the Leaf Village. He's like, bro, the village did you dirty. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Yeah. I'm destroying all of this. And he's justified for that. Now, great. Well, I think he's wrong, but like his, I think he's wrong, but I think the spirit of what he was going through makes a lot of sense. And it is interesting to me that we are in, marginalized communities that can't see the parallels to the shit that he went through and the vengeance that he has. We just write it off as him being emotional, in a bad mood, being upset about everything, just because Naruto right next to him went through a lot of similar things but chose the right path. He chose the light. Yeah. He chose wanting to improve things instead of destroy it. And Naruto's right for that, you know what I mean? But I don't think we should judge as harshly someone like Sasuke, who's like, I see all of this and it should all be destroyed.
Spin again. Spin again.
I figured
Just
it out.
Spin again.
So I have two. One is from an anime, one isn't, but they both go to the same central theme that I have. Is that I actually like it more when my villains don't have backstories and they're
That's
just
fire.
evil for the sake of being evil.
Interesting.
I think that it's, for me personally, I feel like it's a better experience because not everybody, I don't need to understand why you're doing a thing. Perhaps you're just evil. Perhaps your goals are beyond my comprehension. That being said, two phenomenal examples of that are one, the Lich from Adventure Time.
Yes.
He is just evil. And
Yeah.
like that's it.
He represents
Nothing
evil.
else.
Yes, and I love that.
nice.
Like
Yeah.
as soon as he steps in the room, the vibes change.
Yeah.
Like you're either gonna die or some plot armor thing is gonna happen and you're gonna survive. But
Depending on
I
who you
feel
are.
like it depends on
Results
who you
may
are,
vary.
and I think that's great. I feel like more stories. In 2023 could use villains like that. Not everybody needs to be an anti-hero. Not everybody needs to be redeemed.
symbolize
And I think, I also think that the trend of trying to like create a character like Zuko or another character like that who is evil and then turns good, it sort of diminishes the value because not everybody can pull it off that well.
Right.
And it just takes away from that character. Second example is Mahito from Jujutsu Kaisen. He's just a problem.
Yeah.
Like, bro is just a curse, but he
Yeah.
fully embodies that and embraces that, and he's just a problem. He's a problem at every possible turn, and I think that's why I really enjoy the Shibuya arc because he, like, no spoilers, of
fiction,
course,
peak
because it's
fiction.
not
Peak fiction.
animated yet,
So
but like
good.
he really he's just that guy, and I love him for that. So
And I think what I love about Mahito too is that he's like, I'm just a menace, and then he's like, oh, we live in a world where people need reasons to do things. Okay, so I'm a menace because da da da. And he's like, you know, fuck all that. Actually, I'm just like this because I'm like that. And Jujutsu Kaisen does a great job with that. All of like the major villains, they're just like, I just kind of want to do this. I kind of just want to fuck shit up.
Facts.
And we don't get no explanation for
Yeah,
that.
I honestly, I feel like there is an explanation, like not to go too far from this absurdity tip I've been on, but in the concept of like where we are, like just as beings, there's just a duality of good and evil and everything. And I feel like at a certain point, like certain people, like the Lich, just represent the far end of the spectrum to where if there is an overall good of unconditional love, there must be an evil that hates everything.
Yeah.
So there must be balance. And I feel like there is like a beautiful story to be told there. And I also agree about like, hey, listen, nobody does the whole I hate evil, I'm an evil character and become good better than the Power Rangers. And I feel like everybody's just trying to ride that high. Like, we're not getting another Green Ranger story. Let's be honest.
Facts.
Like, he pulled up in the Megazord and beat them niggas'
beat 'em
ass.
out of their
and
own
then beat them
Megazord.
out the Megazord.
Crazy.
That's probably like iconic.
Also, Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Talking about Piccolo, Vegeta,
Everybody
every
from
villain
Goku's
they
team
face.
was bad.
Yeah, Yamcha.
Yamcha was the ops at one point.
That's
Vegeta,
crazy. He really be beating niggas' ass
Krillin,
like you trying to join
yo,
your team.
even Krillin was an op too.
Even Broly was up. Now Broly on the team.
Yeah.
Out of
Which
nowhere.
makes my respect for Frieza even higher.
Because he's
He stuck to it. He said, "Fuck these monkeys."
There's one line where he's like, "I'm gonna help you out, but my main goal is to get stronger than you, so I could beat
Beat
you."
your ass.
Like,
You gotta
he's just
respect
on-
that shit.
Exactly.
You gotta
He's
respect
on time.
Nigga lost one fight in his life and was like, nah, we gotta get
Nah.
him.
Eventually.
You know, it's crazy. One villain who never really got their piece was my boy Ghetto from JJK. I feel like they kind of did him dirty. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Don't spoil nothing.
Yeah, no spoilers.
I mean, the movie was out at this point, right?
But we
there's
still
further, there's
confused. You know what I mean?
further.
We still
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know what
We still
happened.
True.
We still got things to figure
We
out.
still pondering
that's
some
true, that's
pondering.
true.
Certain
Yeah.
things
I just started reading the manga. I know what you're referencing, so don't spoil it.
I was just talking about the movie and how he got
Gotcha.
smoked by a kid. That
He
was
did get smoked by
that was
He did.
disrespectful.
I mean, the episode did come out, but like Geto's story, even in like the latest episodes of Jujutsu Kaisen, like I feel like, and we were talking about this a little bit earlier before we got here, but like ultimately, I feel like this story that they're trying to tell is just so beautiful because
Love it.
it's really like Gojo is as a child that was born into greatness, and then through a miraculous life taking experience, like he learned how to become basically a god. That like there was a little bit of a chink in his armor where Geto filled that white space, where he was like, I can fill that space that Gojo doesn't, and then Gojo said, "Yep." Now, among heaven and earth, I alone am the chosen one. And then at that point, it's like, like Ghetto's like, what am I doing this cycle for? Like, what's the point of all this?
Ghetto's like, I heard you say that, right?
Yeah, and it's so funny. It's so funny because like I feel like Gojo, as hilarious as it is, like when we talk about representing that polarity, he was so pissed off at Ghetto and didn't understand why he made that choice, and it's literally because Gojo just doesn't know how it feels to not be the guy. He's never not been the guy. So like when someone said like, yo, I'm making a radical change, like he just didn't get it. He's like, why don't we just follow the path? Like everything is understood, and that's the one thing he didn't get. And I feel like that's so beautiful.
Gojo got white privilege.
Oh yeah,
White eye privilege. Six white eye privilege.
Facts. There's a couple people got privilege. Gojo, Naruto got privilege. All Might got privilege. Come on, blonde hair, blue eyes. Like, come on.
Yeah, no, that's facts. That's facts. Naruto had to have, because I'm like, hey, as much as Naruto, he did work his ass off. Because I used to think back in the day like Naruto didn't do shit, but then I went back and before he even became like a genin, that boy wrapped a belt to his bed and was doing sit-ups while eating the ramen noodles with spoiled milk. Yeah, like with spoiled milk. Like, so he was trying. Yeah. He was doing terrible, but he was trying.
Bro, Naruto's life at the beginning of his show was a rapper struggle bar. Right. That was his whole existence, bro. Put some respect on his name. He worked for that. He got it out the mud.
That's a fact.
Come on now.
But also Naruto was staying in his ex-Hokage dad's crib too. They just stopped taking care of it.
They didn't even tell him.
That's why he didn't know.
Crib.
He didn't know though.
So what's the symbol on my back? Don't worry about it.
He didn't know he was living in 525 Park Avenue. He was just like, I just got the worst apartment here.
Yeah, bro. There was still shit in the medicine cabinet. He's like, bro, why does this brush have hair that look just like mine?
That's what I'm saying.
Anyway, like, bro, somebody could have told him the rest of that
family photos.
Yes, who's this nigga?
Yo, the guy on the rock though. Kind of look like me a little bit. Paint on his face though.
A little bit. Yo, let's move on to hot takes. Each one of y'all, I'm sure, has an anime hot take from us. An anime opinion that others may disagree with, but you feel how you feel. Break it down. Let us know.
Get spicy.
Well, Candy, you can go first.
Bro, I do not have one.
What do you mean? You already had it.
My Sasuke one?
Yeah.
Okay. What about
running it back, my hot take is that. Oh boy, am I ready to do this? Okay. I think that we should respect Sasuke at the same level we respect Eren, because a lot of the shit they had to go through is very similar, and they made a lot of very similar conclusions about shit, but we judge one of them for being emotional, and we judge another one of them for being the GOAT, leader of the liberation, So to go into it a little bit more, you have Sasuke, whose story is essentially like his people were completely decimated, he was lied to his entire life, and then he gets to a point where he has the power to effect some change on that. So he's figuring out what he wants to do about that, but in the midst of that learns that even the things he was everything he had known about was the lie. So now he's like, how do I want to go about this? So in figuring out how he wants to go and affect change based on the shit that he knows about now, he's sort of flip-flopping on like what his goals are before he reaches the conclusion, I am going to take over the world essentially and just be the shadow that is the one that everyone rallies against, and that is peace to me. He's wrong. He's definitely wrong. Now let's go to Eren. Eren is in a situation, I'm gonna try not to spoil too much, but it's very hard not to spoil things talking about this. But essentially Eren has a lot of knowledge that he comes to about himself, his conditions, and the world around him. And then similarly realizes that he has the power to enact certain things. So he puts forth a lot of plans and does a lot of scheming, and then he gets the power that he needs to enact change. And the plan that he comes up with is also one that's not very good. It's one that if he thinks about it a little harder, he'll come to a better conclusion. But much like Sasuke, to his credit, he did think a lot about it already. And I think with Eren, we get to a point where people look at him and be like, he has all this power, but see, he thought about all the solutions. You know what I mean? So by virtue of him doing this is clearly the best solution. No, it's not. And then secondly is the fact that people are like, nah, bro, like he's also I skipped over a part of an oppressed class, and people are like, he's just fighting for the revolution of his people. But I'm like, no, it's short-sighted, because he's not even fighting for the revolution of his people. He's fighting for the revolution of his friends. You know what I mean? And that is, there's some valor to that, but it's very short-sighted when your plan is to sort of destroy the entire world. Now, that's kind of Sasuke's plan. Sasuke's plan is
his people gone already.
Huh?
His people gone already.
Yeah, there's people.
Can't bring them back.
yes. However,
I don't think he got Dragon Balls, bro.
yeah, it just the whole like Sasuke and Eren thing is just interesting to me because they're both from an oppressed class with the power to change their circumstances that come up with a very drastic, overblown plan, and they're going to enact that plan without thinking about what the better options are. And one of them we herald as a freedom fighter, and the other one we herald as emotional. Why? Personally, I think because Sasuke is a character who, he's not the main character.
Yeah.
We've seen his struggle, we've seen him come up, but our main character is Naruto, the guy who's like, peace is valid, we should fight for peace where people don't have to die.
Yeah.
Whereas Eren is our main character, and he's saying, and we've seen his struggle, and he's saying, peace isn't valid, fuck all this, I'm going to war. And then the side characters are the one who are trying to avoid war and to be peaceful. I think it's a perspective thing. If Sasuke was the main character and the show was called Sasuke, he'd be a fucking Avenger. We'd be like, hell yeah, blow the whole planet up.
Yeah,
And that's how I feel about it.
Because with that, right, no one was really behind Sasuke on his decision. Like,
Exactly.
Like, Eren had at least people trying to help him for the most part.
Exactly.
Sasuke was just balling by himself.
That's what I'm saying.
5 versus 1. Like,
Yeah, he had like 3 niggas in his camp, and that was it.
Because people still respected the shit out of him because when he pulled up at the end of the Great Ninja where he said, I'm going to be Hokage, everybody was like, Naruto, you gonna handle this?
That's what I'm saying.
Say, hey, yo, Naruto, like, oh, you kind of tripping, folk. Like, my stomach would have dropped low key. I'm like, hey, bro, this is not the time for you. We had the plan. Like, Naruto would been the guy the whole time. Like, he's been annoying, but we gonna give it to him. Like, shit.
That's a fact.
But he came in and he just tried to usurp.
That's perfect. What you said is perfect because like the Sasuke versus Eren thing is like in Naruto you have a situation where a powerful ass dude says some shit. Actually, Eren is a situation where a powerful ass dude says some shit and you're like, who gonna check him? I don't really know what we supposed to do about that. But in Naruto, we have a dude who can check him.
True.
So he talks crazy, so we just like, Naruto, are you gonna handle this? And Naruto comes in and handles that shit.
But there's nobody as strong as Eren that can be the indomitable force that can stop him. That's one thing I really think that's like super interesting about Attack on Titan.
Yeah, the writing is good there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, but
Shit, what was my hot take? I just had it and then I forgot it. Keep thinking. Damn, I just had it too. Bleach sucks.
Whoa, I like where you're going, bro.
Bleach
Keep going.
sucks. Bleach sucks.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
too far from my gun.
is, in terms of like the top 3 characters, I'm sorry, bro. In terms of, yo, he's holding the mic. Hey, this is for all the niggas. Hey, yo, this is for all the niggas who love Usopp. I'm spinning the block for y'all right now. Yeah, Bleach sucks. So, quite frankly, it's because Ichigo, in my opinion, is probably one of the worst protagonists ever. A lot of people try to draw parallels between Itadori and Ichigo, but Itadori is someone who literally had to eat it to win and literally had to eat shit in order to get stronger. And at a certain point, Ichigo, he's just the cousin of everybody strong. And at a certain point, like through fights, like they realize, oh yeah, you didn't know? Oh, your brother on your mama's side, third cousin from your daddy, he was a hollow, and his daddy before him, he was a hollow too. And then you have like, oh yeah, your mama was a Quincy. And like at a certain point, it's just all lineage. He didn't really work for anything. He just
Sometimes you just born that nigga. What can I say?
But the thing is, he didn't even work for it. He just got his ass beat to a point where it was like enough is enough. It wasn't even like oh, it was like enough is enough. I'ma overcome it. It was like some Tails B shit where he lost control. Like Hollow shit, lost control. I'm not sure about the Quincy shit. I haven't like watched too deep, but in a lot of ways, I feel like it was kind of like things he didn't have tangible control of, and then the arcs then after he was like, okay, let me figure out how to control this.
Yeah.
Ultimately speaking, for that to be the protagonist, it gives a very terrible trend, like you were saying, for all the other characters, because then his additional cast, the Quincy guy, means nothing. Ichigo's stronger. The wannabe Espada guy with the shield and the arm,
Chad.
Yeah, Chad, sorry as fuck. Oh my god, so sorry. They didn't give him no transformations. They just gave him some colorful biceps. Like, can y'all give him a full suit, please? At some point,
Full suit Chad would be fire. They just gave him arm tats.
that's what I'm saying. They just gave him arms, like some, like at least give him some legs, like some Jordans. I don't know, like a helmet. Like boy
forces at least.
he is so vulnerable here, but his arms are strong. He got a shield. Shout out to him. And then you want to talk about like the other ancillary characters, like you have Shorty with the orange hair, Orihime. Yeah, Orihime, same thing. Like she has this spirit guy, but she's over here like she worked for nothing. She worked for none of it. The Sperry just pulled up on her and was like, "Hey yo, Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, hey, let me just slide through and like give you this power just because you're a nice person. She didn't work for none of the growth, but she was just giving it. So at a certain point, this story is like, oh, there's these indomitable forces that have existed for hundreds of thousands of years. But miraculously, this high school student has all of the things that we need to succeed. And they didn't even fuck on purpose. His dad was just like, that's the thing. It wasn't even like, that's the thing. At least you can say like other people was like, it was intentional. Like other things was intentional, even to Naruto and his mother and like and Minato. Like there was a certain intentionality where like things kind of divined to that way. But Ichigo, his dad was like, hey man, I just thought your mom was bad. And it turned out that he was the greatest ever? Like what? Why didn't any hollowness pull out in anybody else in his lineage? Just him? He's the only one that became the guy? It just didn't make sense. So that's why I think Bleach is ass.
You heard it here first.
You heard it
Bleach
here
full of
first.
Nepo babies, nigga.
Bad. Bleach full of Nepo babies.
Bleach full of Nepo
They
babies.
don't work hard for
Don't
their
fuck
shit,
with
bro.
Facts.
Nah, Ichigo puts in some work.
Where?
After
do you
that.
mean?
Where?
What you said about something incites the moment where he gets the power.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the thing incites the moment where he gets the power, but then after that he has to be able to train to control it. So that's where he puts in the work. He'll get the power up, but then it's not like he could just control it off the bat.
Well, I think I've not seen Bleach, but
Yeah.
how does
reading
it
it right
how does it compare to something like Naruto, where like Naruto did have a lot of moments where like he's sort of flying out of control with the tail beast chakra, and all that stuff, but then he gets to a point where he's like, I need to be strong outside of that, so he trains other shit by himself. He trains the Rasengan by himself. He trains the Rasen Shuriken by himself. He trains the the Sage Mode by himself. Is Bleach a situation where like he's training shit on his own, independently of the these powers, or is he reactively getting all of these
Ichigo
powers?
only really doing shit when he got to. He's like, oh, the world is in danger. I guess I gotta get stronger. He's on that type of time.
Yeah,
That's what
and the
it
thing
is,
is, if you think about it, it's really more so of an ancestral veneration story. Because I'm pretty sure isn't the hollow dude inside of him like his family or some shit, or like some sort of connection?
Yeah, there's a connection.
So at
There's
a certain point,
connection.
it's kind of like, I feel like more so where he has to like work hard in a lot of ways. It's kind of like he's going into this state and he's just having these convoluted conversations with his great granddaddy. Or like his family. So it's not like he's putting in push-ups and sit-ups. Naruto was meditating under a waterfall.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Ichigo is definitely scrapping with people, but when it comes to like the meticulous training, like it still was kind of like, yeah, you just gotta beat my ass and then I'll let you use my sword. Like
There's some of that, but then there's also like some other like mental shit that he has to go through because he does have like two conflicting things within his body.
Bro,
So
I
he
go to
has to
therapy
figure out.
too,
But
bro.
his-
Like, he not special.
his family gave him all of them. That's generational trauma. Like everybody got that. Like
It is. Nah, Ichigo definitely got that in him, but like now where the anime is currently, he's at the point where he's just working. All of like the therapy shit that he needed to go through.
He's the guy now.
He's done it.
Yeah.
Now he just needs to actually like physically train to get stronger. To, you know, get. I don't want to spoil
gotta do that
anything.
shit?
Yeah, you gotta do that shit.
Bleach his ass.
You like what you like and you don't like what you don't like.
Respectfully.
But all the all the Bleach fans out there, that's Grant Sounds.
Yeah, like and follow us. You know what I'm saying?
If y'all have smoked with me when I talk shit about Usopp.
the way you actually spell my name is at ITSS Collective. I don't have a personal social. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you want to get at me, you just gotta go through the Intershoot Fit page and stream YT.
Yeah, I'm sure there's pictures of him in that.
That's crazy.
And I'm sure those pictures are tagged with his socials. So.
That's crazy. I feel like this is a targeted attack.
Also, the thing is, yeah, like Grant said, if you want to leave a hate comment of any kind, you have to listen to White Tea twice. That's the
definitely
thing.
do that.
It unlocks
Definitely do
our comment
that.
section, so make sure you do that.
It's a new system. And put this on too.
What are the hot takes we got, him?
Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
I don't even know it's a hot take. My take is that we should give more credence and accolades to Afro Samurai.
Talk about it.
For a lot of us, first of all, the soundtrack was I think executively produced by RZA.
RZA.
Like it was heavily
RZA.
Wu-Tang influenced. The art style was amazing, and this is all what 06, 05. This is early on. You know, and then you had Samuel L. Jackson in the voice cast. You had like this very compelling backstory, and it was a short show, but there was a lot of. You understood the motives, you understood the narrative, you understood like what the stakes are, and you understood this very tragic character that Afro Samurai was, so much so that he invented this imaginary being to like befriend him because he couldn't have anyone else because of the headband. I really do believe that we should give more credence and like recognition to that show and what it did to propel the culture and animation style forward, and like all those fight scenes, and like it was just crazy. Then the movie came out. Like I'm just a big fan. So that's my take.
I'm so glad you said that, because that dovetails slightly into what I'm about to say.
Go for it.
My hot take that might not necessarily be so hot is that you should word this properly. Black stories need to be told, but they need to be told well. And the fact that a black person is telling a story is not indicative of that story being told well. I'm not gonna give any examples.
Yeah,
All
okay.
I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna give any examples. All I'm gonna say is that there are certain opportunities that are afforded to people who are able to be in rooms. And if you're one of those chosen lucky few at the beginning, you need to do your damn best to make sure that you tell the story right. Because if you fuck up, that opportunity will almost never be given again. So there's a lot of weight on your shoulders, but you chose that. So do it right.
Facts. So all y'all saying, yo, we got an anime coming soon. Come on, do it right.
Yeah,
At least
do
the
it,
anime.
do it right. Because black people are gonna tap in to support you, but if it's ass, like we can't help you. We can't help you beyond that.
I got one more hot take, and honestly, the goal is to get canceled with this one. Samurai Champloo. The series is nowhere as good as the soundtrack, and the soundtrack is carrying the popularity of this series. When we go back and we look at this series, it is at best something that you put on while you're doing another task, and it's great background fodder. But let's be real. Are you really going back and watching episode by episode Samurai Champloo? Nah. You're shouting out new Jabes when you do that.
Talk about
as you should. So I just want to say that straight up, because there's so many people like Samurai Champloo this, Samurai Champloo that, Rurouni Kenshin this, Rurouni Kenshin that. The Swordsman series of the past were ass. Because they did not tell. They did not tell. Look, I'm sorry. I said what I said. Because they were. I'm bringing it in. I'm bringing it in because at a certain point they told this story where it was like, hey, listen, we're trying to tell this kind of style of a story where you have a character who's really strong, but they don't want to really flex their strength. Samurai Champloo, you have two, damn near three characters. Rurouni Kenshin, you have one. But in a lot of ways, just because you have this very dull color style to it, and you have this very, very calm, played out kind of style where it's like, yeah, you know, you got the water breaks and you got all the nice B-roll footage.
Was it played out back then though? Like, or were they the template?
The thing is, I feel like ultimately speaking, they made the template, but the template, I feel like we could have done without it. Like in my opinion, I feel like in terms of the art style, like what Rob was saying, if we had more swordsman stories like Afro Samurai, I feel like we would have a lot more convicting samurai stories. But the thing is, since people are trying to tell nonfiction stories in anime, you end up kind of just being not entertained if you really want a balance of like good fights and then also good storytelling. Because I feel like when I think back on both series, the thing that I remember is in a lot of ways like great scenes of like they're showing a countryside, or like they have a great scene of a sunset, or like the soundtrack is amazing. But like I can't think of a firefight in either of them that I'm like, oh, immediately my brain goes to these. There are some, don't get me wrong, like the Brothel episodes of Samurai Champloo, Rurouni Kenshin got a ton. But when it comes to like in the grand scheme of history, I feel like these things are slowly being forgotten, and it's a sad thing. But it's also because I think they ass. I said I was trying to get canceled. I told you. I said it.
You can find them at Love that. Yo, nah, y'all came in with some spicy takes. Goddamn.
Matter of fact, I got one. Yu Yu Hakusho sucks.
Tell him.
It should never have been made. No, I'm kidding.
You know, I was like, yo, you know, Rob loves you, Hakusho. And I was like, I ain't wrote the other thing, but I was like, I'm gonna support you. I'm gonna stay with something.
I appreciate that.
I'm just fucking right. Yeah, I was like,
Nigga, damn. Why? Yeah, watch yourself, bro.
Wait, you didn't mean that, right?
No.
Can't say gosh. We're not talking about some trash shit like Sensei or nothing. No, I'm kidding. Okay, let me stop.
God damn.
Now we're really gonna get
Bro,
canceled.
all of Latin America is coming for you right now because you talking about Sensei.
Nah, Sensei is fire. I'm sorry. Sensei is fire. Latam squad. I apologize. Lo siento.
Say
Made
is
it
fire.
stupid,
The
made it
remakes though, I have yet to see a good Say remake.
Yeah.
They keep trying it and they keep failing.
Because some things need to just be
Sensei
left in the
is like
past.
my favorite
Like,
suits, favorite transformations. I just wish it was done well.
all right,
Yes, sir.
y'all.
Close us out.
That's it. We closing out.
Luffy too stretchy. Hot take.
That was just being.
None of y'all brave enough to say it.
That nigga Goku got too much hair, bro.
Goku do got too much. He need a haircut.
He did it.
He need a haircut. That's all I'm
Imagine
saying.
Goku pull up with a fade.
Yeah.
Then he looking like every single Black Saiyan graphic art you ever seen.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Actually, hot take. Vegeta's hairline is fine. Leave my man's alone.
What?
If you have a listen, y'all don't know. If you have a widow's peak, it means that the genetic markers for male pattern baldness are not found in your genome. Vegeta's never going bald because he got that widow's peak.
He's mostly
Can
bald,
you say
though.
that about y'all? Can you say that about your own hairline? Yeah, mind your own business, nigga. That's the prince of all saints here. Bodman, don't talk about my God. What you talking about, nigga?
Bodman
What you
ting.
talking about?
Last hot take for me: everybody doesn't need to make an anime clothing brand.
Ooh, nah. Break that down. Break that
What are
down.
we talking about? Some clouds? What are we talking about? Like,
Break that down.
I love my entrepreneurial friends. I'm not talking about y'all. What I am saying is that every, 2 to 3 weeks you go on TikTok, you see someone else with
Facts.
a screen printed anime t-shirt.
Embroidery on
Yeah.
on a Nike sweatshirt.
Yep.
I'm tired of y'all putting tapestries and mixing tapestries with Nike true necks to the way. That shit's played out, man.
throw some tie-dye on that too,
Yeah.
real quick.
Only some of y'all do it well. And if you put in the time and you
Shout out
source
Soul
your
King.
manufacturers correctly and you have really good designs, that's fine. But there are a lot of people popping up who are just seeing it as a cash grab opportunity,
Facts.
and y'all are fucking up the marketplace.
If y'all are looking for good brands, shout out Solar Brand, Soul King, shout out Oh My Senpai, shout out Namiware, even though he's transitioning to 10 pins,
Yo,
and
shout out
also
Blur, bro.
shout out I11 Blend, and then last but not least, y'all see it over here. Shout out Blur, you already
Shout
know.
out, shout out.
Got the exclusive,
Facts.
exclusive
Wow.
Black
So
Girl
only
anime
certain
version.
people
You know what I'm
who
saying?
do it right.
Certain people, yeah.
That's it.
We good? One more hot take?
Yeah. We good?
Intros and outros suck. Music
You
is
don't need to watch
bad.
the intro and outro.
I mean, it depends on the anime. Some intros and outros.
All
like, come on.
intros and outros
Nah.
are bad.
Let's cut this episode.
Smile Bob is not a good song.
Stop! Alright.
Do we want to keep doing this? This is the game we're going to be playing?
All right, I think it's time for the Keep It 9000 outro. So, family, we've had If the Shoe Fits on our show. Guys, let them know where they can take this. Where do you want them to go? Guide the crowd.
All right, so you can find us at ITSF Collective. That is ITSF Collective on all platforms. We on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn,
OnlyFans.
Pornhub, OnlyFans, if you-
Twitter, Facebook.
Oh
Deezer.
yeah, Twitter. Yeah, Twitter.
SoundCloud, Spotify,
SoundCloud, yeah.
Apple
We
Music.
on Google Plus, baby.
If you see any
Everywhere.
of those hot women in your area, we also there.
We're on those too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can find us on all platforms at ITSF Collective. We are a collective of rappers. We also put on lots of different events across New York City, and we love anime, so come fuck with us.
Yes, sir. And y'all hear the song. Let's actually play for a second.
Oh, that's not our version.
Oh, that's not y'all? My bad.
I was bopping to it though.
I saw white tee and I was like, oh, okay, it's definitely them. But that was the franchise boys.
No, that's
So good. I can cut that audio track off and edit.
Co-sign on the way. Co-sign on the way.
I thought he was a homie.
I did listen to it too. I was like, this don't sound right. Let's keep it going.
All right, you guys can follow us at ITSN Collective. Shout out Keep It 9000 Podcast for having us on here. They a fucking vibe. Make sure you like and follow, subscribe to this shit. Tap in for the next episode. It's been a blast. Y'all be easy and keep a lookout for the next song coming out from If the Shoe Fits, Ultra Instinct in a couple weeks. Y'all keep it locked. Peace.
Gang, y'all know the vibes, man. Keep It at 9000, best anime podcast in the game. Thank you for always keeping it 9000 with us, because we'll always keep it 9000 with you, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.
We off this. Bow.
It's over 9,000!